For development to flourish, peace and tolerance must reign. This also applies to the commercial seat of Malawi, Blantyre, where people trade or work for individuals, companies or organizations to make ends meet. Beautiful from the outlook, these streets may, however, turn ugly at night. This is due to criminal activities which are perpetrated by unpatriotic individuals who want to reap where they did not sow. I spent some time in these streets at night. Of late, citizens have been concerned with security hiccups, as witnessed by continued reports of attacks on residents in these streets. Others lay the blame on the street-connected children. While police are trying to maintain peace and order, there are also allegations of police brutality and human rights abuses in the course of discharging their duties. These street-connected children say,
there are several challenges we are facing at the hands of the police. We can't walk freely in town, like we are illegal immigrants. The police are telling us not to come to town, even when we're here to buy other things. We are arrested, locked in police cells. Police say they are sweeping the streets. If we ask questions, they beat us. We are struggling and sometimes get afraid to come to town. They sometimes arrest us and lock us up, yet we have done nothing wrong.
But Southwest Police spokesperson Joseph Sauka says they have not received complaints of police brutality involving street-connected children.
Those are just allegations, and what you should know is that as police, each and every police officer knows that whenever he has been sent to do something to work, he's supposed to work professionally. He's supposed to discharge his duties or her duties professionally. So all the activities that we are doing, all the operations that we are doing, these officers have been taught on how to discharge their duties. And those who are picked are only those who are suspected to have committed a crime. Not each and everybody that we meet in the streets. No, we are only arresting those who are really connected to criminal activities that are causing havoc in the region. We haven't yet received any complaint as police that someone has been beaten by our officers. But if there are really some people who fell victims of who were tortured by police or even beaten by the police officers in the course of their duty, they are all free to report that to the officer in charge station or even come to the commissioner's office. And there are also other organizations that looks at the rights of people, so they can even go there and lodge their complaint. But what you have to know is that police officers are there and they do their job professionally, and they are also aware that they have to respect the rights, be it of the suspect or any other person.
Recently, over 40 street-connected children were arrested in police sweeping exercise around Limbe, Blantyre and Lilongwe. They were arrested in connection with robberies. However, these children have written a petition to the Independent Complaints Commission, ICC, complaining about practices such as mass arrests and others. I asked Commissioner Christopher Tukula of ICC, and in his written response, he said, "Yes, we have received the petition and have opened a file to inquire into various allegations of police brutality and abuse. In the petition, the children say it is unfair to paint all street-connected children as criminals and treat everyone as such. Use of excessive force during arrests, investigations and interrogations is another concern. They say many of them on the streets have stories of unwarranted aggression, verbal abuse and physical mistreatment at the hands of police officers. They add that such experiences not only infringe on their basic rights, but also strip them of their dignity. In the petition, the children are asking for accountability and justice, demanding that there should be a thorough and unbiased investigation conducted into reported cases of police brutality, mass arrests and torture. They are also demanding self-reporting mechanisms as well as safe housing, which would not only provide them with a roof but also a sense of security and stability. Malawi Human Rights Commission representative Habiba Osman says she is not surprised with the development.
I'm not finding it as a shock that I think the children have taken that action based on the fact that there's a judgment that came out sometime where the court actually said that, street-connected children must be put in foster homes or private foster homes. And I think that judgment made it very clear to the Ministry of Gender to take that action. What is now maybe worrying is the very fact that whereas some of them are committing various human rights abuses when they're in the streets, that's a more reason why they need to be in foster homes, not detained in police cells or places like prison-like places. They mustn't be detained in such places. The law forbids it very clearly. Now, it means that some actions need to be taken by stakeholders, clearly led by the Ministry of Gender. Again, the police may be doing their job because they are there for peace and order. So, for example, when people are attacked, the police must come in to do their job. But then the police, beyond that, they need to collaborate with the Ministry of Gender so that they must ensure that, these kids are put in foster homes or they are put in homes where they can be monitored as per law. And unfortunately, I think much dialogue hasn't been done because the court even went further to say that, the ministry can actually work with other institutions or stakeholders. For example, let's bring in the private sector, because the private sector maybe can assist as well, contributing towards designated foster homes for these street-connected children. So for them to actually go to the ICC, clearly also there are some violations that are taking place because the sweeping exercise could be that it's taking even other street-connected children who are not guilty of the acts that are being perpetrated in the streets. So just having a sweeping exercise can also really amount to the violation of their rights. So again, also when we look at the police, how are they conducting this exercise? Are they conducting it with the necessary stakeholders, for example, networks that deal with children? Are they working with the Human Rights Commission? The answer is no. Are they working, for example, maybe with others who are concerned with issues of children? Could be yes, they may be, but when the children have written a petition like that, it appears that the sweeping exercise is not being done in a manner that aligns to human rights. So I'm not surprised that there is that, but I think the solution is we can't be putting a blame, for example, like us as the Malawi Human Rights Commission. Our role is very clear that we must bring stakeholders together. Again, we must be part and parcel of what is happening. So I would say that at this present time, I would hope that the Ministry of Gender will really mobilize key stakeholders to come and address the situation. But also, the ICC must still come in to investigate indeed as to the allegations that have been made in the petition. Because it seems that, there has been a general exercise and some of them may not be guilty and some of them maybe may have committed the thing. So just to generalize and just do a sweeping one, we may be also punishing other street-connected children who are not involved in the criminal acts or in the conducts that have been alleged.
Litigation Officer for Center for Human Rights, Education, Advice and Assistance, CREA, Ruth Kaima, says two wrongs do not make a right.
First of all, it's very concerning how the police are undertaking their operation. They say two wrongs don't make a right. So these are street connected children, but at the basic of it, they're children. So them as being children, they ought to be treated as a child, just like everybody else. The law has given in direction on how a child is supposed to be treated, even if they're being suspected to have committed an offense. First of all, as police officers, they're not supposed to arrest children and detain them in police custody. And what we have seen, it's basically the police going in the open, in the media, and gladly saying we've arrested 48 children, for example, and they are in a police cell, so that because we want to establish who have committed offenses, we want to establish maybe parents for these children. And the question is, the law is clear. The law and even the court made it clear to say it's an offense. It's against the law to detain children in police stations. So what the police basically are doing is they are being in contempt of court. And secondly, the law is clear to say you don't arrest to investigate. So if the police know that there are children who are involved in crimes, that's why we have the investigations department in the police. They ought to do their job. They do the investigations, they find out which street connected children are involved in this crime, and they deal with those children accordingly. And thirdly, if they're saying that maybe some of these children have got parents, which is true, and the law also gives an obligation to these parents to look after their children, it's the duty of the police, I have said, to do investigations in connection with a social welfare officer. They find out which parents are doing this, and they deal with those parents accordingly. But you don't arrest a child because you want to get to their parents. You see that there are all these abuses that are happening. But also, you see that the police, they abuse their power. When you talk to these street-connected children, there are also allegations whereby they'll say, but there are some police officers that actually know the criminals. And maybe some of them maybe even work with these criminals. And the question we ask ourselves is, if the police are aware of this, why not do their proper investigations, arrest these criminals, other than just going and arresting everyone? And maybe we should also remember to say the act or conduct of just going and arresting everyone as a bunch so that you sort them out is also unlawful. The High Court gave an order to say the police are not supposed to do what we call sweeping exercise, and this is exactly what the police are doing. So not only are they breaking the law by arresting and detaining children, not only are they breaking the law by arresting to investigate, but they are also breaking the law by still continuing to do sweeping exercises, which all have been deemed to be unlawful by the court. So it's very sad to see that the police, who are supposed to be in the forefront of upholding the law, are the ones that are actually proudly breaking the law and going to the media to say we are doing sweeping exercises, we are arresting and detaining children. So we continue calling upon the police to do and act according to the law.
Lawyer for Southern Africa Litigation Center, Chikondi Chijozi, concurs with Kaima, adding that every child must be protected. The Child Care, Protection and Justice Act stipulates that all children need to be protected in the country, something Public Relations Officer for the Ministry of Gender, Pauline Kaude, believes is being done.
As police, we are doing a lot after receiving a number of complaints to do with the criminal activities in the region. we sat down and came up with a number of strategies just to see to it that criminal activities is a thing of the past in the region. So what we are doing at the moment is we have an operation which is ongoing, which is targeting all of those who are connected to criminal activities in the city. And just last week we arrested a number of suspects who also, some of them have already appeared in court, and the exercise is also going on, and we have also intensified criminal intelligence correction. Our friends from the CID office, from the detective office, intelligence office, they are all on ground trying to gather the information before the criminal activity happens or occur. So we are really doing a lot just to see to it that criminal activities in the region are a thing of the past. And we have also engaged our friends from the community policing branch to sensitize the public so that they should at least take the responsibility and work hand in hand with the police in the fight against crime in the region.
In 1959, the UN General Assembly adopted the Declaration of Rights of the Child, which defines children's rights to protection, education, health care, shelter, and good nutrition.
Ghetto osama chita kuiputa dala perfume sama nunka kantu kwanuka dala mumafuna mfula yabwela ya matalala usalimbane ndi anokulopanda matala chilipo chandituma kuti nditutse kolala kuti ndichoke musliti undi uze kokakala sitimafuna bling bling kuti tiziwala timafuna mankwala zipezeka msipatala ana apply male ajazija kokapala kuti bweletsela mpila antu tagona ninjala amene adaona kondo ni wa